So, you bought a home in Edmonton 5 years ago. The inspection went well, you bought at a fair price on a good street. Now you're trying to sell it, and the buyers just keep walking. Here's the thing, it's not that the market has crashed, it's that something specific about that property was always going to make it harder to move. So today, I'm going to walk you through 10 types of homes in the Edmonton area that are getting harder to sell right now, and what to do if you own one of them. Hello everybody. Rob Jastrzebski with RJ Homes and eXp Realty here, and today we're going to discuss this harder to sell type of property. So let's ground down to the real numbers here, because this isn't just a hunch, this is real math. Right now in the greater Edmonton area, we have 7,844 listings, sitting at about 3.1 months of inventory. That's about a balanced market, but trending slowly towards buyer-friendly market. Days on market for all residential is up slightly, 36 days this year compared to 29 days last year. Homes are sitting just a little bit longer across the board. Apartment style condos specifically 49 days on market versus 40 days last year. That's the slowest moving category by far. However, that's all relatively speaking compared to, say, a few years ago, these numbers were much, much higher. So new listings are up 2.7% year over year compared to 2025. So there's more competition for the sellers. Meanwhile, sales are down 13.4% year over year. So fewer buyers are actually closing on those deals. Again, 2025 was a record-breaking year, but this is a significant decrease, so we really need to dive into those numbers and discuss why. And here's a split of that really matters. Apartment-style condos, the prices are down 9.3% year over year. The only major category losing value, while the detached homes and single-family homes are still climbing, up about 5% on the average. So, if your home checks one of these boxes above, it's not bad luck, it's just math of this particular market working against you specifically. So let's get into the list, shall we? So we're going to discuss the homes that are really tougher and tougher to sell, and that's the ones that have poly B supply plumbing lines. And that's that gray plumbing line. We'll have some pictures of what these look like. They were predominantly used from the late 70s all the way through to the mid and even late 1990s. Several major insurance companies that is, are actually restricting such coverage, or they're just not covering it at all, which makes it really tough to get financing approval because you, of course, are required to have your home insured if you are going to have a mortgage on it. That shrinks the buyer pool down to people who are willing to budget 5 figures, something well into the $30,000 range for repiping all of this. This is pretty expensive. Number 2 category would be homes on expansive or clay, heavy soil. These homes have foundations that are susceptible to movement. Certain pockets across the Edmonton area sit on soil that is prone to seasonal heaving and settling. Hairline cracks and sloping floors show up in the inspections, and the stabilization. Think of underpinning or pilings getting pretty expensive fast. This is a structural competence problem, not a cosmetic one. This could be very, very expensive indeed. And again, it all depends on where you bought your home. Now, let's move on to number 3, narrow or irregular lots. A lot of detached homes are sitting on these narrow or irregular lots. Some of them are substandard lots. Infill-friendly zoning has buyers and builders chasing these standard 50-foot lots. However, odd-shaped and undersized lots are getting passed over. You end up with those awkward layouts, those awkward tight side yards, and the limited redevelopment upside. These routinely close below the comparable homes versus regular standard lots. Number 4, older walk-up condos with deferred envelope work. This essentially means that the previous condo management company or the previous condo board has decided to just not do the necessary work required to maintain those condos, and they just deferred those maintenance work to a further date. And now all of a sudden you're stuck with looking after how to pay for all these repairs. A lot of those low-rise condo buildings built in 1970s and all the way through to the 1990s are now due for some major envelope work, including balconies, roofing. Either of the buildings are getting special levies, or the buyers find out and they bail. They don't want to have anything to do with it if it means that there's extra expenses that they're going to have to incur once they move in. So be aware of those condos. And of course, the ones directly reflecting this data are apartment-style condos sitting on the market 49 days or older versus the 40 days of last year. The benchmark price being down by about 9.3% year over year. That's a weakening and transforming segment of this entire report. Now, there is another segment here we're talking about, we just touched on it. Number 5 is the condos facing a large special assessment because of some of this work that was deferred, or maybe there's some new work that was just recently discovered. So aging plumbing, parquet membranes, elevators, the costs of getting passed down to owners with special levies in mind, because if you don't have the money to come up with these special levies, guess what happens? Your condo fees increase because they are probably going to come up with some way of doing some special financing to have you pay for these repairs, because these repairs have to be done usually in short order, in very quick, and at that time you have no choice but to pay these levies. And as a seller, you're responsible to pay those levies and any new levies that arise right up until the moment keys change hands. Even if you have a pending offer on it and the conditions have been waived and your possession date is not for a couple more weeks, up until the new owners take possession, you are responsible. And even if there's a levy that's assessed the last minute, the day of possession, for example, you're still responsible until the money changes hands. So just remember that. And of course, reserve fund study shortfalls. There is a lot of that happening in a lot of condo buildings here, where the reserve fund study that was performed originally was just significantly underfunded. For some reason, the engineers miscalculated those reserve funds and they're way underfunded, and now you need to get that funding back up to par. Otherwise, that building is red flagged by the either CMHC or the lenders themselves, and they won't lend on that property. So beware of those ones. And that's not even a very rare find, that happens all the time. Condos also, that kind of rolls into the same thing. It'll end up with a special assessment to bring up that reserve fund, or your condo fees are going to be significantly increased to build up that reserve fund for the project. Number 7, homes on major arterial roads. Busy roads, 4-lane highways, 3, 4, 6 lanes, whatever the case may be. Remember, those busy roads are not for everyone. You're gonna end up with getting to find what looks like a deal because you're paying a lot less for these properties, but there's a reason for that. It's because they're on busy roads. Stony Plain Road in Edmonton, White Avenue, Yellowhead Trail, 97th Street, 23rd Ave, Anthony Henday, or anything adjacent to noise and traffic, limited street parking, safety concerns for families. It's all a permanent discount that doesn't fix itself. As a matter of fact, if anything, it keeps getting worse because we get more and more traffic on these major busy roads. So just be aware of that. 1 or 2 blocks off that arterial road can mean a significant price difference. And that gap keeps getting wider and wider as we get more and more inventory. So just remember those homes as well. Number 8 is our leasehold properties. And so a lot of municipalities in, say, other provinces, say British Columbia, for example, Ontario come to mind. There's a lot of major centers that are close to or abutting First Nations leased land. And those are leasehold properties that you do not actually own outright as freehold. You actually have some kind of a predetermined lease on that land. Some of them are long, 99 years, some of them are shorter, 25 years, where you can build on that property, but you do not own it. It's owned by whoever it is that owns that land. Let's say it's First Nations, for example. So just remember that those properties also sell for a lot less, but you do not own it and you can't really pass it down to your kids. Once the lease runs out, that's it. You have to give it back to whoever is the leaseholder and whatever improvements you have to that land. So if you built a home on it, guess what? That leaseholder gets that home at the end of the lease. So that's definitely less common here in Alberta, but we do have some of those as well. So smaller condos with no parking or storage, those are really, really hard to sell. They do look like a great deal because it's such a, obviously a lot less expensive than some of the larger condos with parking. Parking, especially in downtown Edmonton, just like any other downtown city metropolitan area, it is at a premium here. So if you can buy a condo, even if you don't need the parking, make sure you find one with parking, even if it costs more, because it is going to be a significant advantage for you when it comes time to sell. And it's our job as your real estate agents to prepare you for the eventuality of selling, even though you're just excited about just finding a home to buy right now. So we're always thinking exit strategy to make sure that we advise you properly so you can make an informed decision. So remember, parking is very important. Also, the number of bedrooms. Now, there are buildings with one bedrooms, actually even with no bedrooms, let's say a studio or a bachelor suite with no bedrooms whatsoever. Honestly, if you can afford the budget to go up a little bit higher and get an apartment style condo that has 2 bedrooms, ideally with 2 bathrooms and 1 or 2 parking stalls, that's the premium. Now, obviously in downtown Edmonton, that's going to be limited. They're a lot more expensive, some of those condos over there. So even if you have to buy something that's, say, a bachelor suite or a studio or a loft, I would highly recommend you consider a loft condo building in the most desirable part of downtown Edmonton, because that'll make a big difference. And you want to try and make sure that you have a parking stall secured with it, because that will also make it much easier to sell in the future. So downtown, well, this kind of rolls right into that next segment, which is downtown condo towers. Still, the new ones I'm talking about that are competing against all those new condos that are still on the market that haven't been absorbed from the original builder. So if you purchased one of those condos, let's say Ice District, for example, those are beautiful buildings, and there was a lot of excitement about those. They had huge pre-sale marketing, and they actually had people line up in line waiting to get in to be able to have the choice of purchasing one of those units. And they've, sure enough, the advantages, you get to choose which floor you're on, you get to choose the floor plan, the size, the view, which direction it faces, the parking stalls, all that good stuff, you get to have choice. However, that segment of the market, because there's so many of those condo units, has been really difficult for the sellers, for the builders to sell. And there are still a number of those still available on the market today. So this is years gone past, almost 10 years actually. And if you own one of those condos, guess what? You're not just competing against other condos in your building that are resale condos. You're also competing against that brand new construction inventory that's still available all these years since they were built. So that's also going to be something you want to watch out for. And there are a number of those buildings. I'm not picking on the Ice District. That's just one example. That's all. Now, none of these means that these homes don't sell. It means that they are just sell differently. So detached homes, for example, single-family detached homes are still appreciating at about 5 or 6% per year, year-over-year average, region by region. Apartment-style condo category actually is losing some value, and this is compared year-over-year from 25 to 26. Of course, years past, we had a significant amount of appreciation happen in the last few years as well, but overall, the apartment-style condo market is certainly one that is usually more difficult to sell because there's more of them. So supply and demand, that's kind of normal. Here's the opportunity, however. Buyers who understand exactly what they're buying can negotiate and get a real value in today's market with more choice and more time. So this is an advantage for you. Make sure that you contact your real estate agent. And if you don't have one, contact us and we'll be happy to sit down with you and discuss specifically the criteria that's most important to you to make sure that you can make an informed decision when you purchase, so that when you go to sell, you won't have one of these really hard to sell properties. And here's the key distinction, however. The busy roads in a permanent, that's a permanent discount. Like, there is nothing you can change about that. As a matter of fact, it's just going to continue to get busier and busier. So you have to pretty much be resigned to the fact that if you're choosing to purchase one of those properties, because of course it's going to be priced much lower than some of the areas, some of the same homes, but further away from those busy roads, you just have to realize that those are always going to be a permanent discount in the future. You're just going to have to sell it for less than other homes in the area that don't have those busy roads to back onto. So some key takeaways here. If you're buying and you have an inspection that significantly addresses soil and foundation conditions, don't assume it's automatically covered, because it's not. Every home is different, every property is different. Some foundations are more susceptible than others to cracking, and some, even when they crack, it's not a big deal. So you have to take it one step at a time. Make sure you work with a very knowledgeable, experienced real estate agent and inspector so that you can be advised accordingly. If you're buying a condo, read the documents, make sure you understand them. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, that's okay. At least hire a document review company that can read those documents for you. They can summarize them for you, and they can have a discussion with you to make sure that you make an informed decision. You want to make sure that you understand what the reserve fund study is, what the depreciation report is, what the AGM, that's the annual general meeting. You want to read those minutes, make sure that you understand what was discussed in there, so that there, and it may identify some red flags of what might have to be addressed in the near future in that particular condo building. So those documents are super important, and a lot of the property management companies are slow to produce them. So make sure that you understand that it's your right to be informed, and make sure that you can take the time necessary to understand those documents. Now, if you're selling and you recognize that your home is somewhere on this list, don't wait until the listing date to find out where you stand. Get a current home evaluation, make sure you get an assessment while there's still time to plan around it instead of just reacting to it. You want to make sure that you get that market evaluation from your real estate agent as soon as you start thinking about selling, even if that means it's months in advance before you actually plan on listing. That way, you can potentially prepare for anything that comes your way that you may not even think about, that your realtor, someone that's experienced, will probably bring to your attention when the time comes. So, in closing, the bottom line is we're sitting on 3.1 months of inventory. Listings are up and sales are down. Buyers are choosing clean listings. They're choosing the best listings, the basically ready to move into homes that are priced competitively to begin with. So know which bucket your home is in. If you want to know exactly where your home stands, book a free evaluation with RJ Homes team, and the link is below. We're happy to connect with you. We'll be able to discuss specifically your home and how it compares to others in the market. Oh, and if you want to know about a second category, there's some issues, the kind that doesn't show up on an inspection or in a condo document, stick around, because that's what's next.